what's the practical application then? What do I do to? Is it just that constant are there behaviors that I practice being present?
Totally.
And so hopefully it'll just happen for me throughout my day?
Yeah, this is why we meditate.
It's mindfulness meditation.
This is what we do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is what we do.
This is what we do. I mean, really though, it is the antidote. If you start to meditate regularly, which the whole goal of meditation, if you can even call it that, is not to have special mystical experiences or something like that. The goal of meditation is to be present here and now. Like, so when you're breathing, you're experiencing what it's like to breathe. When you're being conscious, you're attending to it, right? And what starts to happen is, you throughout the course, if you do this regularly and build up that habit, you almost remember to be attentive much more often throughout your day. I don't know how to describe it other than like these little pangs or zaps of arriving again here and realizing, oh, I'm awake, I'm here, and it feels like waking up.
Yeah.
It feels like, you start to be reminded throughout your day to attend to it.
That's what you're saying with like the autopilot. We're on autopilot a ton.
It's so much.
And then if you're saying if I mindfully meditate more often, I'll get snapped back to reality a little more often.
More often, yeah. You increase the odds of being present to what's happening in front of you. The other thing, Sam Harris writes about this or talks about this, which I think is really helpful, is like going back to the family thing, taking a second when your family's in front of you to imagine just the morbid scenario that they all die tomorrow. Just confront yourself with the reality of death and what you would give for just one more meal with them.
Yeah.
Just one more evening with them. And that alone can help you appreciate what you do have right in front of you. The other thing he talks about, is really helpful, is, the life that you're living right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're listening to a podcast at the moment, you're probably in a pretty comfortable position. You're at a computer, or you got your phone, or you're on a bus, or you're in a car or something. You're safe. You're probably not starving to death right now. You probably aren't on the run for your life. The life that you're living right this second would be the answer to somebody else's prayer. Like, there's people out there who would give anything to be doing what you're doing right now, just walking down the street listening to a podcast, so that can help you appreciate it as well. It's kind of a sad way to do it, that there's people out there really suffering, but it helps you appreciate what you do have in front of you. Yeah.
So then how does ambition play into this? Because I've heard it said many times that the 30s, which you're approaching and I'm in, are like, that's the decade of ambition, kind of. You've done a bunch of the prep work and training, or whatever you need, and now you're ready to fly.
Do your thing. Yeah.
And I mean, the Click movie has this architect guy who's trying to climb the ladder, and there's tension there. So I guess, how does ambition play into this attitude of thankfulness and gratefulness? Because aren't the people that make these impressive marks on the world, I guess maybe they did have some kind of weird, unbalanced life that was sad in a way. Maybe like we're overly ambitious and sacrificed everything to achieve this one goal. And maybe that is not praiseworthy and ought to be emulated. Yet the world has benefited greatly from people that gave of their lives in that way. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of asking, how do I... Because it seems like there's something good about ambition and wanting to do something significant in the world.
Yeah.
So if the advice is just be happy with what's going on around you in this moment, but then there also are these great goods to be had from ambition. I want to like do something significant in the world, right? There's something to that.
Yeah. I think it's both. I don't think there's anything wrong with planning. I think it's actually really important. I think you should plan. I think if you don't plan, you probably will end up with a lot of regrets. Ways you spent your time and resources that actually weren't deep down what you really wanted. So I think it's both. It's like...
But the trouble is, like what we were just talking about, though, is that you'll get into these grooves of always thinking about what's next and what am I doing next. They seem at odds to me.
No, yeah, I want to say they are at odds.
Is the answer like we set aside little blocks in that's my planning, future thinking time, and just do my best when I'm not in that space. Be present the rest of the time. You've already planned about the future. You don't need to worry about it and keep pondering it.
Maybe blocking out time to plan. I don't think practically that's how it will work out. I think practically in the day-to-day, the way it ends up working out is you've established some big plan. I'm going to go and undertake this project, and to do that, I'm going to need this amount of resources and this much time per week. I'm going to make a calendar and budget my time and resources well. But then throughout the day, your mind is doing its best to anticipate problems and solve them before they become real. So thoughts are going to jump in. Thoughts might steal your attention. And there's nothing, again, I want to say there's nothing wrong with that. I think the goal is to be conscious of it. I'm going to be thinking about my future now, instead of not realizing that you're doing it. And so I don't think the goal is a life always lived only ever in the present. I don't think that's, to your point, like how are you supposed to pay a bill if you never anticipate the bill arriving?
Yeah.
You know, there's some degree of planning that's essential, but I think you want to be conscious about where and when you are present. And just aware that, happiness, or maybe contentment is a better word, isn't necessarily going to arrive in the future if you're unable to find it now.
Oh man, that's
So,
really good.
like, as you're talking about, say we undergo some project, and your goal is I want to be famous. Then I'll feel good about myself, or I'll have self-worth, or I'll be happy, or whatever. First of all, fame is that's not a point you arrive at. It's like,
it's a gradient.
Yeah, it's
a
totally
spectrum.
a gradient. It's like you will never be famous enough, you know, if that is really how you want to attain value.
Yeah. Who's the most famous person? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
it Donald Trump?
You could always have some more subscribers to your YouTube channel or something. You know, there could always be more. You could always make some more money.
That can't be the metric for how you
Right.
allow yourself to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. So there needs to be a degree to which it's like, I'm putting my hand to these things because I think they're valuable in and of themselves, and that's why I'm doing them. I think the world needs this. But I'm also aware that this is where I am right now, and I'm content with that, you know?